Hi, and welcome to another video of the Target Individual Program, Target Individual Experience. And when I say the Target Individual Experience, it is based on my experience of being a non-consensual human experimentee, as well as being a victim of a criminal coercive mind control program, or coercive persuasion program. Okay, so it's been about 2 weeks since I did a video, and because I've been attacked heavily uh, in the coercive persuasion program and been under heavy remote monitoring, that when I take the kids to school, got back in the house, I've just been, literally passing out, and not from physical exhaustion, but mental exhaustion because of the remote monitoring that was taking place, as well as the psyops using civilian perpetrators. And I've been very tired. You know, I mean, both my son's birthday recently passed. My eldest turned 18, and he had his graduation on uh, June 6th, which was last Thursday. And then Ethan, his birthday was on the 31st. And we had went out, and the videos that I'm gonna show is when we took him out for his birthday. We took him to Dave and Buster's, so you guys will get to see that. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this, and again, I've always go to this website. This is psychologicalharassment.com, and talk about creating self-doubt and attack self-confidence, which is a tactic that is often used to attack a person's self-confidence and to induce self-doubt, is to ask a question using an ambiguity. When the person answers in a deductive or guess, the negative, wrong, or no is indicated, and a more accurate re-question is provided with the correct answer. This is done repetitively to induce self-doubt and attack a person's self-confidence by having them believe that their conclusion or deduction are always false. And this is what they constantly do to constantly undermine you, the TI, including myself. And it is a continuous 24/7 undermining effort. For example, Saturday, I'm the kids and I and Pam. I dropped her off at a friend's house. A friend was having a barbecue, and came back home. Everything was okay. Spoke to her, and I noticed that she didn't call me to be like, hey, I'm on my way home or I'm home. So I called her, and then she was in a cab home. Stopped for a little bit, and then went to bed. Woke up the next day, and I didn't hear from her. So I called her around 2:30 in the afternoon, and when she answered the phone, she was like, I'm just waking up. Now, I know her, and I know when she's just waking up. Okay? If she's sleeping, and if I call and she's just waking up, there's a slow drag of her voice, the way she says hello and stuff like that. But she seemed like she was up already, So I was like, oh, you just waking up? It's like 2:30. I was like, what time did you go to bed? She was like, I don't know. I'm like, what you mean? I don't know. Like, what time? You should know what time you go to bed. And then she says to me, why are you asking me a question that I can't answer? So I was like, what do you mean? Why am I asking you a question that you can't answer? And then, I kind of was thrown off by that. But then she ended up telling me that, oh, yeah, I went to bed at around 2. All right. So again, I'm like, okay, but why did you tell me? Why am I asking you a question that you can't answer? Which seems kind of odd. So right there, my brain was, kind of like, well, did she really go home? That kind of thing. Because I did find, again, a text message, Facebook message, because she had went out with an ex. She went to the movies, and she got up early. Now, this woman never gets up early, but she got up early to go to the movies, and then lied to me and told me that she went with one of her girlfriends. And then I found out from the Facebook message that she actually went on a date with her ex. All right. And then, there's other stuff in there that I'm not going to get into. So, from that, after I confronted her on it, and again, when she starts doing stuff like this, it's like, she starts saying suspicious things or acting in a suspicious manner, meaning that she's up to something shady, and I pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden now she gets defensive and starts raising her voice. And I just said to her, you know what? I'll talk to you later. And then she's like, no, 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 no. How was your day? I said, listen, I'll talk to you later. And then she hangs up the phone on me. Right? She didn't even say, okay, I'll talk to you later. She literally hangs up the phone on me. So right then I knew that, that's a guilty conscience. Okay? So anyway, but that was that. And prior to that conversation I had with her, they were using my sister, or microwaving her. And usually my sister do not come into my bedroom to talk to me. The only time she does that is when they condition her to come in my bedroom so she could target me with the hand signals and all of that stuff. So what she started doing again was doing the palm fixation drill on me. And then, the only way I could have gotten rid of her was to put on a video that's an anti-religion video, because she's very religious, right? So when I put on the anti-religious video, then she left and she never came back, right? Prior to that, she was coming in and out of my bedroom, okay, doing the whole hand signal stuff, pinching the nose, doing the fixation drill with the palm of the hand, open up, facing towards me, that sort of stuff. She'll turn around and then she put her hands behind her back, with the palm of her hand towards me, kind of like I'm putting my hand behind my back right now, but except that the palm of my hand is facing outwards, right? And so she kept doing that, and for some reason, I was like, you know what, I can't deal with that right now. So like I put on an anti-religion video, and she left, right? So this is the stuff that they do, okay? And then I had to drop the kids off yesterday because I was already in a mood because of what she said. So I tell her I'm going to drop the kids off, and and that was it, right? So on my way over here, again, heavy police presence, and for some reason I didn't record it. Now normally when I get in the car, I'm usually recording, but for some reason I didn't record it. And I'm figuring again because I'm being microwave, silence on spectrum, and that took my attention away from recording, right? And so, but we'll get to that. And then after I dropped the kids off, I actually made a mental note to record as I, go on my way home. But I want to talk about also, and then you'll hear certain things. So when I talk about the inducing self-doubts and attack to self-confidence, that sort of stuff, they do that a lot with Pam. They use her in that way against me, right? So, like, a couple months ago, she was like, I don't know what I want. Then, about a month ago, I brought the kids over from the weekend at my house, and she's like, yeah, my family just walked in the door. But I'm like, you told me that you didn't know what you want. Now, if the circumstances have changed, shouldn't you at least say, hey, Nigel, we need to talk, and blah, blah, blah. But again, it's because she's saying and using words because she thinks that's what I want to hear, right? So she's going to use that. So they're very calculated, right? And, so I just decided that, you know what, I need to take a step back again, right? So I will try my best to take a step back and just leave her alone because, you know, I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know if she was talking to somebody else and maybe it didn't work out. So all of a sudden now she comes back to me and, and I never want to be another option. And anybody in a relationship shouldn't deal with someone who is constantly out there looking for something better and then trying to keep you around just in case they don't find that better, okay, or whatever else they're looking for, right? And so, I had a talk with a family member who I haven't spoken to in a while, and helped me to put things in perspective. Okay, so they also use like hidden threats, which I've shown a lot, and they try to manipulate your views on reality. Okay, so I also want to get into this. This is because of the incident with the diplomats in Cuba and China, and also us as TIs being hit with directed energy weapons. There is another TI in California named Alda who has also been badly damaged by these weapons, right? This technology, okay, and these are technological weapons that uses radio wave, microwave, sound waves for different purposes, right? And so she has, problems with her back as well. She also has, because of that, the technology, arthritis in her hands, which I also have, and our injuries mimic each other, right? So, for example, she suffered brain injury because of, again, the remote neural monitoring and beam microchip and beam microwave, right? Or being radio wave using silent sound spread spectrum. Okay, and she's constantly attacked psychologically at her job, and she's doing her best to, just keep calm and get through the day by day. But it's hard because they attack her at many different fronts, from the managers, uh, bringing up something that's 2 months old and using that to suspend her for a couple of days. They're constantly trying to undermine her also. But again, that's what they do with every TI. Okay, the constant effort to undermine us as TIs in every aspect and every facet of our daily life. So here is an article from the CIA website, and this is had been cleared for release through the Freedom of Information Act, and this was cleared for release in 2003, right? Okay, and this article was from January 11 to 17, 1993, from the Defense News. Now here's some interesting. I'm going to read this. Okay, so we're talking about what it says here. As far as it has become possible to probe and correct psychic contents of human beings despite their will unconsciousness by instrumental means, result having been achieved can get out of our control, in parentheses or brackets, and be used with inhumane purposes of manipulating psyche, the paper states, right? So this is the Russian author. Note that world opinion is not ready for dealing appropriately with the problems coming from the possibility of direct access to the human mind. Okay, now check this out. In a December 15 interview, Morris said she and Richmond, Virginia-based International Helpline Corp have briefed senior U.S. intelligence and Army officials about the Russian capabilities, which Morris said could include handheld devices for purposes of special operation, crowd control, and anti-personnel action. Remember, we're talking about 1993 here, and they're really talking about handheld devices that they can use, okay, for crowd control. You know, they might not say psychological manipulation, but I'm saying this because, again, this has been my experience in this program. Okay, we talked about using this to screen and prepare special operations personnel for extremely difficult mission and ways in which this could be integrated into doctrine for psychological operations, Morris said. She said Army officials were concerned about the capability being directed against armored system and personnel through electronic communication links. Ground troops, she said, risk exposure to bone conducting sound wave that cannot be offset by earplug or other current protective gear. Okay, so not just bone conduction. You hear me talk about acoustical, uh, vibrational acoustic weapon, right? Which was used on me earlier in my targeting that damaged my spine. Then on top of that, we talk about being microwave with mind control frequency, okay, being implanted with a microchip for the purpose of remote neural monitoring, but also to give me instructions. Okay, like for example, if I'm driving and they want me to go a certain area where they have the perpetrators in every corner, um, they will do that. And how I know, because I will go off course, right? And every corner I turn to, you'll have perpetrators standing on the corner. And I'm not trying to target anybody, so this is a warning. This is a trigger warning. So you might want to just skip past this or not watch this. Close your eyes. So what they would do is that they will do this, right? Or they'll do this. Okay? This is the kind of things that these people do. Okay? So let's make no mistake about this, that the U.S. government and now law enforcement agencies have access to some of these weapons, these directed energy weapons. Okay? Okay. So Morris added that U.S. countermeasures could include sound cancellation, a complex process which involved broadcasting oppositely phase waveforms in precise match frequencies. Major Pete Keaton, a U.S. Army spokesman, said senior Army officials had expressed interest in reviewing Russian capabilities, but that repeated plans to schedule visits to the former Soviet Union were rejected by Donald Otwood, Deputy Secretary of Defense. Keaton said he was unfamiliar with the mind control technologies and could not discuss specific details. Okay, we're not going to get into that. Let's move on to here where it says Morris contend that the capability has been demonstrated in the laboratory in Russia and should be placed under international restrictions at the earliest possible opportunity. Okay, this is coming from the Defense News. Okay, January 11 to 17, 1993. So don't let the U.S. government fool you into believing that these technologies does not exist. They know it exists, and when they throw their own diplomats under the bus and saying that what the diplomat experienced had gone through, right, was a psychological illness or what have you, that's doing a disservice to the men and women who have given their life to serve this country and this government. And for this government, particularly the security agencies such as the CIA, the Department of Defense, to throw these diplomats under the bus tells you something. Okay? And that has been the history of the US government, right? Is that they constantly will undermine their own people, their own operative, to hide, something that they don't want the public to know. Okay? And because they fear of being held accountable. Okay? So let's move on to the videos. And this, we're going to start. This was Ethan's birthday, the 31st of May, and we were on our way to Dave and Buster's in the city, in Manhattan. So I'm just going to skip past some of this. Let me mute the volume. Okay. Let's see if anything here. I just quickly had scanned through the video. So here you see when you talk about the hand signals taking place. All right. Let's go back slightly. There you go. So you see, as I approach this intersection, I want you to look to my right. You're going to see a woman. Let's let the vehicle pass. That's her right here. She looks up at the light, and then she takes her phone out of her pocket, right? Looks at it. Again, these are tactics that are being used. Now you'll see this guy. He's walking with his dog. Okay. And again, this is a trigger warning. He does the hand signals. He looks over at me, and he does this. Okay. All right. So now, as we were driving, after I made the turn, there was a police car that was following behind me. Now, at this point, the video had stopped. I didn't realize the video had stopped, and they were behind me. And then when I started the video, because I think I went about a block over, they were behind me. They stopped behind me as I was at the stoplight, and then when they saw me reach for my phone to record, they basically drove on the wrong side of the road, okay, very fast, because they did not want me to get a video of them, and they just drove off very fast. Okay. Okay, so the light changed, and you're gonna see the police vehicles. Just to let you guys know that I'm not making this up. So they got in front, about 3 cars ahead, and you see, as I'm about to make the right, you'll see maybe 2 cars ahead. Yeah, 2 cars ahead. All right. So now you see, and actually, yeah, 2 cars ahead. So you see the police vehicle here, right? The police vehicle that was following behind me. Okay, and again, let's go here. Okay, now you see the woman there. What she's doing, she's grabbing her butt. That's what she's doing. Okay, she's staring at her phone. They know what they're doing. Like I said, the police will use civilians, and they'll work together to psychologically harass, send me subliminal messages. Okay, so this is me getting on the Prospect Expressway, and we're heading into the city. All right. Also, at this time, there was a lot of calls with the number 32, but I want to keep this video short because there's more videos that I have to get done. Okay. All right. So we got on the Brooklyn Bridge, and we got off the in Manhattan, and we're heading over to the West Side Highway. Okay. Now, as I approach this intersection, again, you will see, and this is how quick they work. I mean, they have an army of people, and I do mean an army of people, that no matter where you go, right, and also because of the remote node monitoring and the silence on spectrum, you know, they know whichever route you take, they already have people stationed at these multiple possibilities that you're going to take to get to your destination, right? Or if they're using silence on spectrum, they're going to direct you exactly where to go, okay? Or put the thought in your mind of which route to take. So you'll see these guys approaching on the sidewalk, and as soon as they come, they all started looking up. Now, why are they looking up? Look how far he is under this overpass here, right? He cannot see. Okay, he cannot see what's up in the sky. But again, this is what they do to me too. They'll always look up in the sky. I guess they're looking for this sky daddy, you know. So this is what they do. Now check this out. So he starts again. You'll see the hand going up behind the head, you know. And I'm sorry, it's a trigger warning. Okay. See that? Okay. Now you see the. I'm gonna go back a little. Now you see. I want you to watch to the right. You're gonna see these 3 women. Okay. So let's play that. So now I've already explained about these guys here. Okay. Right. Now check this out. And I just noticed this. Okay. Check this out. Where they could it? Where they? Okay. Here's the car honking again. Okay. All right. Now, watch this guy. The one in the back. There's 4 of them, right? Watch this guy. Why is he looking up? Right? These guys here haven't really started looking up yet. But you see the guy behind here? Why is he looking up? He just got onto the overpass, right? He cannot see what's, you know, in the sky. So why is he looking up? Already, right? Okay, there comes the hand signals. Now watch again. Now you see the 3 women. The one on the right, she starts playing with her hair. See that? Okay. Okay. Now they're walking, looking at me. So there they go. He's looking at me. They were all looking at me. Now watch the 3 women now. Watch the one on the right. You'll see her opening her arms, and what she's doing again, trigger warning. Not, you know, don't look at this. If you're a TI, you can't handle this. So what she's doing this, and then she's going to stick her middle finger out at me. Okay. Again, this is all scripted, all planned stuff that they do. All right. Okay. And so another thing too, what they recently started doing, when they see me, they'll do this. This is what the one on the left, wearing that multi-color pants. Okay. All right. Same as you see the woman across the street. let's go back again, and you'll see how they operate. Now the woman across the street, she's wearing like a pink sweater with a book bag. Again, she starts playing with her hair again, doing this, that, you know. Again, they operate in a way and in a manner in which they do a lot of heavy masking. And being that I was going into the city with a lot of people, there was a tremendous amount of psychological targeting, psychological harassment, right? Okay, so I'm getting on the West Side Highway. Let me just skip past some of this stuff. All right, let's go to the next video. Let's go to the next video. Okay, now I had already played through some of this video, but I just want to get to the relevant parts so you guys can see. So we're driving on the West Side Highway. This cars come alongside of us, and I want you guys to see this here. So if you look at this car on my right, see what this person is doing? Giving me the middle finger. Okay, this is what they do, and they were doing that constantly. Okay. And I wish I would have gotten the entire license plate of this individual. But this was what was happening. Okay. And this was on a Friday night. You know, we're going out to celebrate my son's birthday. And they will do everything to try to steal your joy or steal that moment in which you're going to have a good time, because they don't want you to have a good time. Okay? They don't want you to have a good time. They don't want you to have good things. They don't want good things happening to you. These people is all about destroying your life. And this is why I call them a destructive cult. Okay? Because that's what destructive cults do. All right? They destroy people's lives. Okay? So now, this is me going up 42nd Street. It's on the west side. And you'll see as I'm driving, okay, let's see, let's try and brighten this image up a little bit. So there's a guy that was standing, okay. As we approach, he takes his phone out right here, and he sticks it out in his hand. That's what he's doing, his phone out. Now watch as I pass him now. Then he brings his phones in, look at it. He's looking at his phone. That's what he's doing. Okay, and then he walks off. Okay, don't stay there now. He walks off. Right, and that's not all. So let's go. Because then you're gonna see who's gonna show up. All right. Let's see. I hope I didn't skip past it. Let's go here. Okay. No. All right. I believe it's here. Okay, here you go. You hear that noise in the background? That's the fire truck. Okay. Now remember I talk about you know, whenever I went out early on in my targeting, if I used to go out on dates, what have you, or go somewhere, go to the movies, what have you. Whenever I show up to my destination, there'll be a fire truck parked outside the establishment. So whether it be at the theater, whether it be at a restaurant that we're gonna have dinner at. Like I said, I remember one time on the date we had on the train, and I had to pee so bad I couldn't hold it, and it was a next stop coming up, and I remember a restaurant And I said, you know, listen, we're gonna get off at this stop and go to this restaurant because I got to pee so bad. When we got out of the train station, walked to the restaurant, which is like across the street, right? There were two fire trucks parked up in front of that restaurant. Okay, that's to tell you the level of privacy invasion, because again of the microchip implant for the purpose of remote neural monitoring, that they already know that I was going to that restaurant. Now this is just something that happened just random because I had to pee so bad, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get off at this stop. We're gonna get off at this stop, and we walk, and there were two fire trucks parked up in front of the restaurant. With the one of the doors of the fire trucks was open, and you know, when you open up the door of the fire truck, I think the front door has the stop sign on it, right? So they were constantly doing that, right? Open up the door that had the stop sign on it as they were parked up in front of that establishment, whatever establishment that I was going to. And like I said, if I pick a random establishment, by the time I get there, they would be there also. Okay? So this time now, they didn't show up in front of Dave and Buster's, but they show as heck make their presence known. Okay? Because the only thing they did was to let me see them drive past. And I want you to look at the pedestrians to see if you guys see any type of hand signals that's going on. I'm gonna let you guys try and see if you guys can see the hand signals as I've explained them to you. Uh, you know, pretty much I've explained to you and what type of hand signals that they do, right? Okay. So we were looking for parking. Okay. Um, let's go to the next video. All right. So you know, we're just driving around looking for parking, and again, you'll see I get to intersection, and you'll see this guy here as he walks to the corner. He started trigger warning. He started doing this. He started doing this. He started doing this. He's in between these two ladies. Okay, not the guy in the white T-shirt, but there's an older white guy here. And again, they show up at wherever. It's like they have every street cornered with perpetrators, civilian perpetrators. So no matter which street I turn on, they have somebody there doing hand signals. Okay. Okay. So let's go here. Let's do that. Remember I talked about they're very good at masking their hand signals, right? So you got to watch out for that. Okay, there was one particular. Let's see, so this one. Pause. Might be in another video. Might not be this one. All right, let's go to that next video. Okay, here you go. So I did pause it. So now here we are driving down another street now, and you'll see a civilian perp. Okay, he's coming up. Okay, so right here, he's standing in front of this mailbox. Right, he sees me, gives me the middle finger. Okay, you know, he's like sticking his middle finger out like this as his hands in that position. All right, and then right there, I don't know if you guys probably can't see because it's blurry, but that's what he does. Okay. Okay, so let's Okay, so we're able to get parking, and then let's go to the next video. All right, so after we got parking, we started walking over to Dave & Buster's. Of course, you have civilian perps. Okay, now once you see this guy right here. Okay, you see as we're approaching, he does this. Remember I talk about the police officer when I was working, and whenever they would mind control me to take the stairs, and he would stand at the bottom of the stairs with his hand on the railing, with his fingers pointed like this, right? So I'm constantly seeing people walking in front of me with their fingers like this, right? And here you see it here. Okay, now watch the female next to him. See what she does here? Again, trigger warning. She does this, right? Okay, you guys see that? Pinching of the nose. Okay, and then see what he does? Okay, so it goes to show you the level of harassment that is going on. And you see this other woman right here as she's facing towards me, and she turns. Okay, her and the same guy. Now watch how they turn at the exact same moment, right? They'll turn, because again, we're looking at um, hand signals, right? Except they're using their whole hand, right? So it's like this, right? See that? Okay. After what that, I don't know, you know. But normally when they start doing stuff like this and they start doing it repeatedly, you have to pay attention to your emotions and to your thought pattern, because again, these are triggers that have been conditioned in your psyche, and in your psyche there's what is called an anchor, right? So when they do these things repeatedly, these are a trigger that has been attached to an anchor, right? And that anchor is negative. Could be a negative emotion, could be a negative thought pattern, could be a negative word. Okay, it's always going to be negative, right? That's why it's called dark NLP, or dark psychology. Now check this out. So you see now, as we walked to the intersection, they both walked in front of us, right, to the intersection. Okay, now watch what happens here. Now you see this police vehicle, right? You see the police vehicle here. You see the lights is on. Now as we cross the street, okay, and I thought I had turned, and then you see the other guy here, you know, grabs his butt. Let's go back up slightly, and you'll see it. And this is what they do. See, what he's doing. Well, actually, what he's doing, I don't want to, because it's kind of gross. What he's doing, he's taking his middle finger and sticking it like he's sticking it up his butthole, and then he's going to grab his butt with his hands as we walk to the intersection. This is the sick shit that these people do. Okay, let me see if I can lighten this up a little bit and change the exposure, just so that you can get a better picture. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back so you guys can see. Oh, too much. Okay, do this again. All right, there he goes. All right, and then you'll see her, and see what she does. Okay, she's pinching her nose, and he's doing this. Okay. All right. So let's see the older guy now. Okay, and see what he's doing. Yeah, Ethan's hand in the way. But look. He's sticking his hands, and then he's sticking his thumb up his butt, and then he grabs his butt. Right? This is the kind of stuff that they do. Now, as we walk past the police vehicle, the police officer is gonna, the one on the passenger side, he's gonna turn and he's gonna look at me, right? And I turned, but I didn't turn far enough so I can show you guys. You see me turn right here, all right? This is where I turn, but I actually turned back too quick, okay? Because they drove off. So when I talk about how this is what police officers do, they'll be parked up, they'll wait till I get close, whether I'm walking, I'm driving, and then they'll drive off, right? So this is what they're doing here, again. And this is to, get your attention, right? Because this is what they do, okay? So let's see what else we can get here. Okay, so I think at this point now, okay, so now you'll see this woman behind this guy in the red jacket. And again, you see that. See it again? He's looking up in the sky, but except now he's doing it like it's a gun, right? Okay? And you see now the security guy, as I approach, also lately they've been using people that have bottled water, right? I think I've done a video a couple years ago where I was talking about how they would use bottled water, again, as part of a trigger, right? So you see as I walk past, he, swings the bottle to the side, and he puts it behind his back. Now you hear the noise campaign. Okay, so let's go. Okay, let's go back here. Now, what she does is that she starts pulling on her hair. This girl here in the white with the striped shirt. This is what they do. They see you, they start playing with their hair, they start tugging on their clothes. It's all hand signals, right? Hand signals, again, built-in triggers and anchors, because we've all been brainwashed. Okay, and that's basically what it is. So you'll see her walking here, right? Again, the one in front, stop playing with her hair. She sees me. She does the same thing. Okay. Let's see what else. See, again, you'll see the lady here in the white and black shirt. Let's go back slightly because I don't want you guys to miss it because it's very brief. Okay, and you'll see right here, her hand goes up to her hair and grabs her hair. All right, but it's very bright, very brief, very brief. And let's go back here. Do it again. Oh, I'm sorry. She coughed. That's what she did. Not here. Here goes. She right. Okay. Now watch the guy with the phone. Looks at his phone. Then he looks at Pam. Right. That's what he does. He looks at Pam. Looks at his phone and looks at Pam. Another female playing with her hair again. So so you can see the pattern, right? If you're a TI, whenever a woman walk on a guy, they will start touching their hair. They'll do this. They'll do these hand signals in front of you because they know that you've been brainwashed. They know that you've been psychologically conditioned, and they are taught the triggers, okay, as well as what the anchors are, right, to the triggers, to the association with the triggers, right? And that's why they do what they do. And I've read about this about in the MK Ultra uh, papers, right? That it talks about, you know, using psychological tactics and training it to people outside the agency field how to engage in psychological operation. Okay, so we at this point we got to Dave and Buster's and we went to get something to eat at first, and then we sat down for about an hour, you know, getting our meals, what have you, and then you know we're walking out of the restaurant to go into the gaming area, and we stepped out, and guess what? We had two NYPD police officers. Okay, now I see his hands go behind his back. That's because he was doing a hand signal. Okay, so again, this is showing again that the harassment, the NYPD engage in psychological manipulation, as well as harassment, as well as invasion of privacy, and as well as conspiring with others to deny the targeted individuals of our rights, of our happiness, of our liberty. This is what they do. This is a conspiracy against the rights of targeted individuals. Okay? So on top of being experimented on, okay, on top of being put in a coercive persuasion program, they're conspiring together to deny us of our rights, of our ability to find love, to be happy, you know, to engage in civil discourse, because they want to isolate us, to continue to experiment on us, and to continue to label us as being mentally ill. Okay, this is what they do. All right, so that was the 31st of May, and this is yesterday after dropping the kids to Pam, and I'm heading home. And the reason why I included this and not in another video, because you know I don't know when I'm gonna make the other video, so I just want to put this in there before I forget. So on, like I said, on our way to drop the kids by Pam, a lot of police harassment, police targeting, and you know, but like I said, for whatever reason, I wasn't recording, and I figured that I was being mind controlled, microwave, to not even record. And so I made an effort to make a mental note to say, okay, on my way home, I have to record, right? And so this is what I did. So I started recording. Recorded, right? Okay, so let's go past here, and I want to explain to you guys the sick nature of these individuals, right? And when we talk about street theater as TIs, you know, and I remember on my show I was talking to another TI, and I was saying how, you know, that these people are so sick and so vile and so evil that they will put themselves in harm's way, okay, in order to get you in trouble, or to make you harm someone or harm them in the process of them targeting you. That's the sick mentality of these people. And you know, I remember a couple of TIs said, no, they wouldn't do that. They love their life so much. Listen, if people can be brainwashed and manipulated to strap in a vest loaded with explosive to blow themselves up, people can be manipulated to walk in front of your vehicle, right, just as you're passing by, so you can hit them. Okay, and this almost happened to me yesterday on the way over here, because again I wasn't recorded, and I should have been recorded. This guy walks out into the street, instead of looking at the oncoming traffic, the direction of the oncoming traffic. He looks to the direction where the traffic is going as he's crossing the street. And he has headphones on. Not once did he turn to look to see if any vehicle was coming. He just stepped out into the road right in front of the car. And I had to step on my brakes and blow my horn. Okay? And, you know, normally that would startle a person. This person wasn't startled at all. He turned around, looked at me, and continued walking. Okay? And so now, you know, on my way back home, right? Now, watch this. When I tell you that these are stage events, and you'll see the guy on the bike here. Where is he? Okay, here you go. All right. Now, you'll see he does the hand signal. Okay, and he's looking at me. You see the hand signal right here. He's doing this. Okay. Do I have? Okay. All right. So here he is. So he's doing this. He's on the bike. He's doing this. He's looking directly at me. Okay. Now watch this. As I approached the intersection and I saw the ambulance, so I knew something was up. I didn't even see the police vehicle yet, but I saw the ambulance and I knew something was up because of the way how I was being targeted, right? Now watch this. So you'll see a paramedics right there, and both of them actually. So let's go back. That might be too much here. Let's go. Okay, now both of them, when they see me, they're going to touch their nose right there. You see their hands goes up at the exact same time, and they're going to do this. They're going to touch their nose and do this. This is what they do. Okay, let's brighten this up a little bit so you guys can see better. Okay. All right. So both at the same time now as I'm approaching. Now you have a guy here on the floor, right? He's on the floor. Okay. Right. So what they did is that, again, they'll, you know, have an accident with each other, and it's not an accident in which they are seriously hurt. As you can see, the vehicle in front here, the fender, the bumper, the rear bumper, I guess this vehicle hit it, but it's nothing serious, right? So check this out, right? So why is this guy on the floor? If he got hit, right, by this vehicle here, right, you would think that he would remain inside the vehicle. The ambulance would have been taken, you know, you'd have been like, listen, I can't walk, and they would have brought the they would have parked the fire truck up, the ambulance closer to the vehicles. But except he's sitting on the floor here, and they waited until they see me to now walk, after pinching their nose, doing this, both of them at the same time, to now go over to pick this guy up off the ground. Okay, now I gotta play this for you again, because, you know, this is what I do. Okay, I've been going through this for so long. I mean, I can tell you exactly what it is they're doing. So here's the guy in the back again. He's sticking his hands out. He's doing all these hand signals. Okay, he's looking at me, what have you. Okay, right. Now watch. I'm just gonna pause it right here. All right, he's on the floor. Right, he's on the floor. Right. Okay, now again, you'll see both of them at this point right here. Both hand goes up, pinching their nose like this. Okay, and there you go. Here go the police, right? And you see here the bumper here. But, you know, again, they're all working together. They are all working together. Even though the vehicle hit the car in front of him. So, again, it's to make it legitimate so that the police can be there, the ambulance can be there, but it is a street theater geared to harassing me and targeting me. That's why when I approach, I remind you, right? Because you see them both raise their hands and start pinching their nose like this, right? That there in itself letting you guys know that it's planned. And now, where are the police, right? You would think that the police would be, you know, outside here. You have an accident, but they're staying in their vehicle because they don't want their face on video. And you hear me saying that, pinching their nose, right? As soon as they see me, right? Okay? Okay? This is the stuff that they do, and they continue to do. Now, they may, after being exposed, after I expose them, they may, you know, fall back a little bit, but they lay in their weight. They lay in the cut until the appropriate time. After they done plan everything out, how they're going to target me, you know what I'm saying? And then they move into action and move into motion. And this is continuous. This is never ending. Okay? Okay. Now, you notice that all these people that walked across the street, they did not do anything with their hands. They did not move their fingers or swing their arm up or anything like that. Right? Why is that? I see this happening. Now, I don't know if it's because maybe these people that don't participate or don't want to participate. That's why. But you know, from time to time, I guess after being heavily targeted, some of them might be like, you know what, we'll leave him alone. You know, we're not gonna target him. But again, this is some of the stuff that they do. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go. Okay, I think I was talking about the guy on the bike. The guy on the bike. I'm sorry, the guy that walked the road in front of. Okay, all right, and then all up here. Okay, so I'm making the turn, and again, recently they started using a lot of Jewish people, a lot of Jewish children, the Hasidic Jews, in my targeting. A lot of Jewish women. I took my daughter to the park yesterday, and uh, my daughter was playing the sprinkler. This Jewish woman comes, stands up in front of me. There was a police car that was driving up behind her, and she takes her phone out, okay, looks at me, and then pinch her nose, right? And again, this was at the park. I'm taking my daughter to the park. So that's to tell you the level of harassment that they've been engaging in, okay? So remember I talk about them doing this now? So you see the little girl walks across the street and she does the same thing? Okay, I'm not making this up. Okay, this is new uh, triggers, okay, that they've been doing. And then you see the guy walks across, he's wearing the red shirt as I turned. Because now, you know, they got to do the red theme, right? Okay, so let's go to the next video. Let's go. Okay, now again, like I said, you'll see again the theme with the water bottle. As you see, you know, they have these Jewish kids uh, on the sidewalk where I'm about to park, right? And they're stationed there, and as I approach, you'll see them now, you know, they'll walk off. Now watch the two Jewish girl, okay? You'll see she's walking, she's turned, but she swings the water bottles so I can see, right? Because like I said, they've been using people with water bottles, right? And then you'll see her do the palm, again, the fixation drill, right? And as she, see how she swings her arms with her palm, right? And then she starts playing with her hair, and she does this, and then she sticks her finger in her ears, okay? So they've been using a lot of Jewish people, men, women, kids, more so. Okay, and then you see this guy walks past and he bows his head. So now we're back to the bowing of the head theme. Okay. Okay. Now, here's something that's very interesting, right? Because um, I don't know what happened. Okay. Where are we at here? Okay. So I don't know what happened, but after I park, right, I stopped the video. But for some reason, you know, when I was loading the video onto the computer, loading up the videos in the software program, I saw this video. Now, after I parked yesterday, right, we parked, went to my apartment building. As I was entering the building, this older man comes out and he says to me, "I got you." So I was like, immediately I was like, "Yeah, I got you too, pops." You know, because this is what they love to do, right? They like to throw out these words, these catchphrases, you know, to incinerate something. And again, because it's like when they start using the police a lot heavy like this, and I talked about this in the uh, psychologicalharassment.com website, which is up here. Let me, I talk about, let's see here, where, uh, oh yeah, here, let's get to, okay, let's go to the, okay, wait. Okay, nope, where is it? Okay, wait, let me see right here. Um, okay, false pretenses, deception to prevent exposure, torture and false confession pretense. No, it's okay. Here you go. Psychological warfare or manipulation in covert type investigations. Right? So I've talked about that. You guys can go on the website psychologicalharassment.com in the psychological manipulation section and read up all about this. Okay. So, like I said, whenever I'm being heavy targeted like this, especially when they use the police a lot, then they will say something like this. They will send some perp or have you walking past me, or you know, we got you or I got you. So I was, after he said that, and I said what I said, same to him, same thing back to him. I was saying, damn, you know what? I wish I would have recorded this, because this would have been a perfect opportunity to get something like this on video, because I've talked about this before, right? And sure enough, for whatever reason, okay, my camera was recording the whole thing. Okay? Okay, here we go. So, let's get to the video. All right. Um, again, I did not realize that the phone was still recording. I am walking to my apartment building, and I want you to listen. Here he said, I got you. Let's go back again. All right? He said, I got you. I got you. And I said, yeah, I got you too, Pops. Okay? And I'm like, yes, got it. You know, it surprised me sometimes when I get something like this because, and that's what I do this, right? To show people, okay, what is being done, the psychological operation, the psychological warfare, the involvement of the police department, those on the police force who are members of religious organizations who engage and participate in these types of criminal behavior, right? The uh, brainwashing of individuals and putting them in psychological warfare programs, right? Because I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you know. Like they want to use the word coercive persuasion or behavior modification. They try to sanitize what it is, which is brainwashing. Okay, meaning that going into somebody's psyche without their permission, okay, manipulating their mind, okay, in order so that these individuals' lives can be destroyed and make it look like because it's their negative behavior, which they have been conditioned to, right? So they have conditioned these individuals like myself negatively, right? And then run a psychological con game, right? And then to insinuate to them or send them subliminal message that acting and behaving in a negative way, they will be rewarded, okay? To basically ruin a person's life, okay? To have them arrested, have them thrown in jail, have them lose their job, have them act out in anger, to hurt somebody, what have you. This is what's being done. And when you see whole communities of different groups of people, okay, but basically they're all believing some religious ideology, right? Uh, you know, and this I think in the beginning it was more compartmentalized, where each group may not know what the other group is doing, but now everybody in Compass, you know, knows exactly what each group is doing. Okay, so they've now combined them instead of keeping them as separate groups. Now, it's a combination of these groups. Okay, so this is what they have been doing, and I've been trying to tell you guys this for years. On top of the non-consensual human experimentation, because remember, like I said, the Coercive Persuasion Program is a cover. It is to discredit. It is to discredit, to get rid of all of the individuals once they've finished experimenting on them. Okay? This is what they're doing. Okay, so now on my way over here this morning by Pam, and as I turned this corner, there was a fire truck that, as soon as I reached the intersection, there was a fire truck that made the left turn, and then you see the police vehicle here pulled over to the side. Now again, remember what I talked about, right? So now you'll see them use the red theme, right? So let's okay, that's too far. All right, so the police vehicle is parked up, right? They're parked up, okay, meaning that they pulled over to the sidewalk, they put the car in park, and that's it, right? Now watch when I approach, okay? Now you see when I approach how they now step on the brake, so the brake light can come on, okay? And what's the color of the brake light? Red, right? So they're using the red theme again, but again using the vehicle brake light, being that the color is red. I mean, it looks a little orangey here because, you know, the light and everything, but it's basically red. Okay, because you can see that, right? Okay, so now let's see here as you step on the brake light as I approach. Now let's see, because normally they are followed by a hand signals from a pedestrian civilian perp, and you see this guy walking behind the guy in the white shirt. He bows his head as I drive past. Okay, so he bows his head. Okay, now I want to show you guys the fire truck, because there was a couple vehicles ahead. So let's see if I can show you guys that. Let's see here. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's go here. So you try to do it in such a way that I won't be able to catch them. But you know, you'll hopefully you'll see. Let's see if I can, because they turned. Was it on this block? Well, maybe not. Maybe you know. Ah, here you go. So see, they're making the right turn right here. So here you go. Yes, finally able to show you guys. Right. So they're very slick now. So you see that's, you know, you see these red lights here. There's a white car behind it. That's the fire truck. Okay, and you'll see them turning. There you go, right there. That's the fire truck. Okay. So this stuff don't stop. You know, yeah. You know, I may not do a video for 2 weeks or so, like I said, because of the heavy targeting. You know, I've been getting back in the house because of the heavy remote door monitoring and the silent sound spectrum. That it's, you know, you're basically mentally drained, okay, because of the heavy targeting. And then you'll see the police vehicle now again with the red lights as I'm approaching, getting ready to approach Pam's block, and again you'll see the police vehicle driving very slow now. Okay, and you'll see the guy here. Let's pay attention to this guy standing at the bus stop for a minute, because like I said, you know, the police and the civilian perps work together hand in hand, and you'll see this woman staring up at the building windows, because that's what they love to do, and I do it to them also. Okay, so you see as I approach, he kicks his feet up, right? Let's see, and then he looks at me, he looks over at the police car, and then he looks in my direction. So let's go back, because I want you guys to see this. Watch him. You'll see as I approach, he's going to let the video play. He's going to kick his feet out right there. As he steps forward, he kicks one feet out. He looks up at the window, looks at me, looks up at the window, looks at the police vehicle, looks at me. Okay? Because again, like I said, this is what they do. All right? And you know, it's incredible, because like I said, you know, I've been going through this for probably 20 years now, maybe a few years in which I had no idea, because that's the conditioning phase where you don't have any idea that this is being done to you, because you're being psychologically conditioned daily, okay, until they do it enough that it registers within your psyche, right, within your subconscious. Okay, so this is just, you know, again, me doing another video showing exactly what's going on, and I hope I explained it in such a way that those who are not TIs can understand, and they can see for themselves, okay, what I've been talking about and what I've been going through. And you know, you may go on other uh, targeted individuals YouTube channel, and you know, I have no doubt that you'll find some of the same things happening to other TIs, the same behavior by the civilian perpetrators, the police, right? And like I said, these are individuals within the police force who are members of religious organization and who are part of a criminal destructive cult and engaging in criminal behavior. And you know, that's what they are. They are criminals. They're criminals with badges. They have these criminal civilians walking around acting as if they are untouchables. No one can touch them. I mean, okay, while they engage in a criminal psychological operation or criminal psychological warfare against individuals. Okay, so that's it for the video, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, I'll get to do it soon because I do have tons of video that I got to go through and put into and conceptualize and put in an order so I can do the video. Okay.